All right, ready to dive deep into the world of court administrators?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's a behind-the-scenes role, but absolutely crucial, right? Making the whole court system run smoothly.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating blend of law, management, tech.
And today, we're going to help you ace that interview. We've got a ton of info from RoleCatcher, their career guide, interview tips, even a peek at their question database.
Which is super valuable because these interviews can be pretty tough. They really want to make sure you can handle the pressure of the job.
Exactly. So think of this deep dive as your secret weapon.
Yeah.
For anyone out there drawn to this kind of challenge, ensuring justice is served fairly and efficiently.
Buckle up.
First things first, let's decode what a court administrator actually does. More than just paperwork, right?
Oh, yeah, way more. Think supervising staff, managing budgets, keeping the court up to date with tech.
And ensuring everything runs smoothly for judges, lawyers, the public.
Right, a lot of juggling. So picture a fast-paced office, dynamic, no 2 days alike.
But let's be real, this job isn't for the faint of heart. The RoleCatcher Guide highlights some of the downsides, like high stress, long hours.
True, but there's huge satisfaction, too, knowing you play a vital role in upholding justice.
Plus, a competitive salary, job stability.
Yeah.
It's a unique career path, that's for sure.
And don't forget, working with diverse groups of people. That's a big part of it.
Okay, so let's get practical. Interview time. RoleCatcher gives us some awesome sample questions, starting with, tell me about a time you had to manage a conflict within a team. What's your approach? What was the outcome? Classic, right?
It's a classic for a reason. Shows your conflict resolution skills, leadership style.
Especially important in a court environment.
Yeah.
High stress, lots of different personalities.
Exactly. So the STAR method is your friend here. Situation, task, action, result.
Love that method. Clear, concise, tells a story. But don't just focus on the resolution. What did you learn? How did you grow as a leader?
Right. Self-awareness is key. They might even ask about your preferred conflict management style. Are you collaborative, assertive? Be ready to give different examples.
Great point. Okay, next question. How do you stay up to date with changes in court procedures and legal regulations? Always changing, right?
The legal landscape is constantly evolving, so show you're committed to continuous learning.
Be specific, too. What journals do you read? Conferences you attend? Online resources you use?
It's about resourcefulness. How would you research a new legal issue? Show your analytical skills.
Right. Impress them with your ability to grasp complex information quickly. Okay, how about this one? Describe a time you had to manage a large budget. How did you ensure financial accountability and transparency? Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty.
This one's all about experience. What budgeting processes have you used? Software tools? Reporting procedures?
Don't be afraid to get detailed. What systems did you use? What challenges did you face and overcome?
And highlight your attention to detail, your meticulousness. Numbers speak volumes in this role.
They might even ask about tough financial decisions with limited resources.
Absolutely. Be prepared to talk about your decision-making process, weighing pros and cons.
And how you communicated those decisions. Okay, let's shift gears to a leadership question. Imagine they ask, you have a team member who's consistently underperforming. How do you approach this situation?
Ooh, this one's about motivation and guidance. Always start with open communication.
Right, a private conversation to understand the root cause of the underperformance.
Work collaboratively to create a plan for improvement. Empathy goes a long way here.
Absolutely. Maybe they're facing personal challenges or lack training. Show you can identify and address underlying issues.
It's not just about discipline, it's about support and growth.
Setting clear expectations, providing regular feedback.
Exactly, fostering a culture of accountability. Okay, now let's talk tech, they might ask. Tell me about a time you had to implement a new technology system or process. What were the challenges and how did you overcome them?
This one's not just about knowing the tech, but managing the change. Training staff, ensuring a smooth transition.
Right. Choose an example that shows adaptability, problem solving, walk them through the whole process.
Did you face any resistance? How did you address those concerns?
Highlight your communication and leadership skills, especially in a changing environment. They might also ask about your comfort level with learning new technologies. Do you embrace change?
Be ready to share examples of how you've mastered new tools. Okay, let's tackle one more before we wrap up this section. How do you prioritize tasks when faced with competing deadlines and limited resources? The eternal struggle.
Time management and organization are essential here. You're constantly juggling.
So, walk them through your system. Do you use a specific method, project management software? Give concrete examples.
Describe a situation where you had to juggle multiple projects. How did you prioritize?
And don't forget delegation. Can you effectively assign tasks and empower your team?
Okay, we've covered a lot. Ready for a breather?
Hold on. Before we move on to even more interview questions, I think it's worth mentioning something that can make a huge difference in your prep.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
RoleCatcher's AI platform. It's like having a personal career coach right in your pocket.
It's incredible. Their AI analyzes job descriptions, finds those keywords that matter,
Helps you craft compelling answers that highlight your relevant skills and experience.
and their feedback on practice interview videos is a game changer, like a virtual mock interview.
Okay, let's take a quick pause. We'll be right back with more tips and insights to help you nail that court administrator interview.
All right, back to those tougher interview questions, the ones that really test your ability to think on your feet.
Yeah, those curveballs that can throw you off guard.
And speaking of pressure, the RoleCatcher Career Guide actually emphasizes staying calm under pressure as a core competency for court administrators.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
The court environment can be pretty intense.
Absolutely. So let's say they hit you with this. Describe a situation where you had to make a difficult decision with limited information. How'd you approach it? What was the outcome?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's not just about having all the answers, but about demonstrating good judgment even when things are uncertain.
Exactly. So start by explaining how you gathered as much relevant information as possible, given the time constraints.
Did you consult with colleagues? Review policies? Draw upon your past experiences?
Highlight those analytical skills, your ability to weigh potential risks and benefits.
And don't be afraid to acknowledge that it was a tough call.
Right. Honesty and self-awareness are important. Even if the outcome wasn't perfect, focus on what you learned from it.
How you'd approach similar situations in the future. Okay, what about this one? Describe a time you had to deal with a difficult or demanding individual. How did you manage the situation?
Ah, the classic difficult person question. We've all been there.
Especially in a courtroom, right?
Yeah.
Lots of people under stress, dealing with legal complexities.
Exactly. So this is where you showcase your empathy and communication skills.
Share an example where you successfully navigated a challenging interaction.
Maybe you actively listened, set boundaries, found some common ground.
What if they remain difficult, despite your best efforts?
Show that you stayed calm and professional. They want to see that you can handle those tough interactions without letting them derail your work.
Okay, let's get specific to the court environment. How would you approach improving communication and collaboration between different departments within the court system?
This one's all about seeing the big picture. You're not just managing your own team, you're facilitating smooth operations across the whole system.
So think about the challenges that arise when departments are siloed.
Miscommunication, delays, duplicated efforts.
Exactly. The interviewer wants to see that you understand these complexities and have ideas for improving things.
What would you suggest? Regular interdepartmental meetings.
Maybe a shared online platform for updates and announcements?
Or cross-training opportunities for staff.
Great examples. It's all about being proactive, solution-oriented.
Focused on enhancing communication and efficiency across the board.
All right, another tech-focused question.
Yeah.
What experience do you have with electronic filing systems and other court management software?
Time to get specific. Mention the names of systems you've used, the functionalities you're familiar with, any training or certifications.
What if you don't have experience with a particular system they mention?
Don't panic. Just emphasize your eagerness to learn new technologies, how quickly you can master new tools.
Mention any personal projects or online courses you've taken to expand your tech skills.
It shows initiative and that you're staying current with industry trends.
Okay, time for the question that everyone dreads. What is your biggest weakness?
Ah, the classic weakness question. This is about self-awareness and growth.
Choose a weakness that's relevant, but not a deal breaker.
And then immediately explain how you're working to overcome it.
Like maybe you struggle with delegating because you like things done a certain way.
Right, but then explain the steps you're taking to improve. Consciously trusting your team more, seeking out training on effective delegation.
Turning a potential negative into a positive. Show your dedication to continuous improvement.
Okay, ready for a scenario-based question.
Hit me with it.
Imagine you receive a call from a member of the public who's upset about a recent court ruling. How do you handle that?
Ooh, that's interesting. It's about communication, empathy, and handling emotionally charged situations.
And according to the RoleCatcher Guide, interacting with the public is a key responsibility for court administrators.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, acknowledge their feelings, Listen empathetically.
Something like, I understand you're frustrated. Can you tell me more about what's concerning you?
Create a safe space for them to express themselves while maintaining professional boundaries.
What if they ask for legal advice?
Explain that you're not qualified to give that, but offer to direct them to appropriate resources, like a legal aid organization or the court's website.
It's a balancing act, showing compassion while sticking to your role.
Okay, last question for this section. What are your long-term career goals? And how does this court administrator role fit into your aspirations?
Time to show your ambition. Demonstrate that you've thought about your career path.
Connect your goals to the specific opportunities and growth potential of this position.
Do you see yourself in a senior management role someday? Passionate about a specific area of court administration?
Share your vision.
And most importantly, show your enthusiasm. Let them see that you're not just looking for a job, you're looking for a career.
Okay, before we wrap up the interview questions, let's circle back to RoleCatcher's AI platform.
I'm so glad you brought that up again. It's such a valuable resource for fine-tuning your answers.
Making sure they resonate with the specific requirements of each job you apply for.
Their AI can analyze job descriptions, identify those keywords,
And even provide personalized feedback on your responses. It's like having a secret weapon.
and don't forget their interview practice feature.
The AI analyzes your video rehearsals and gives you insights to refine your delivery and boost your confidence.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground on interview prep.
We have. But we've got more insights to share to help you conquer that court administrator interview.
All right, we're back. Ready for the final stretch of our court administrator interview prep.
I think we've thrown a lot of questions at our listeners today, but hopefully they're feeling more prepared than ever.
That's the goal. Preparation is key to confidence.
And, we've talked a lot about what to say, but now I think it's time to focus on the how.
Oh, I like that. It's like the difference between reading a dry legal document and hearing a passionate closing argument.
Exactly. Same information, but the delivery can make all the difference.
So, first and foremost, let that enthusiasm shine through. This job isn't for everyone. It takes a special kind of dedication.
Why are you drawn to this role? What excites you about the court system? Let that passion be evident in your answers.
Authenticity is so important.
But it also needs to be backed up with solid examples and structure. That's where all that prep work we talked about really comes in handy. Having those star stories ready to go,
Yeah.
tailored to the specific questions.
It takes the pressure off, for sure.
Absolutely. Because when you're nervous, it's easy to ramble. Structure is your friend.
Think of your answers as mini presentations. Clear beginning, middle, and end.
And don't forget about nonverbal communication.
Oh, that's huge.
Eye contact, good posture.
Maybe a subtle nod when the interviewer's speaking.
These things signal confidence and engagement. Now, the RoleCatcher Career Guide mentions some of the tougher aspects of the job. High stress, long hours, potential for difficult situations.
Right, it's not all sunshine and roses.
How do you address those honestly in an interview without scaring them off?
It's about acknowledging the challenges while highlighting your coping mechanisms, how you thrive in those environments.
So maybe you're great at time management and organization, which helps you handle stress.
Or maybe you're actually drawn to that fast-paced, problem-solving nature of the work.
Turn those potential negatives into positives.
Exactly. Show them that you're not just aware of the challenges, but that you're equipped to handle them.
And don't forget to ask insightful questions throughout the interview.
Oh, that's so important.
It shows you're curious, engaged, and that you've done your research.
Have few questions prepared in advance, based on your research about the court or the specific role.
It also turns the interview into more of a two-way conversation, which can help you relax and build rapport.
You know, one thing we talked about earlier, the increasing use of technology in the courts, that could be a great conversation starter.
Absolutely. You could ask about the court's specific systems, their plans for future upgrades.
Or even how they're using technology to improve access to justice.
Shows you're forward-thinking and interested in the bigger picture.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one piece of advice you'd give to someone prepping for this interview?
I'd say use every resource at your disposal, including RoleCatcher's AI platform. Hone those answers. Tailor them to each specific job.
It can make all the difference.
You've got this. You're clearly interested in this field. You're taking the time to prepare, and you're passionate about making a difference in the justice system. Let that shine through, and I know you'll do great.
And for our listeners, we encourage you to explore all the amazing resources RoleCatcher has to offer. Career guides, interview prep tools, you'll find links in the show notes.
That's right. Whether you're pursuing a career as a court administrator or exploring other paths, RoleCatcher can help you on your journey. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.